Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with a match preview, not a transfer talk roundup show. I think we've had enough of them, although there may be one of those coming up later on. I'm here with Sam to preview Wolves versus Aston Villa. And if you can forgive Sam, he's had a busy old week or last couple of weeks, Sam. I don't know, do you want to give the Villa Park pod faithful your good news?
Yeah, good news. We have another little villain in the world, little baby Rowan, joined us last week. So I've been not sleeping and trying to look after my two little boys. I did manage to get a day release from the gaffer for Celtic midweek, so I was up to Birmingham back in the same night. On Wednesday, which was 100% worth the trip. But really good news for me, and hopefully that's another little Villa captain in the wings waiting.
Absolutely, mate, absolutely. And we did have to remind you that, I had to remind you that it was Wolves versus Aston Villa coming up on Saturday, but we'll forgive you, and congratulations, mate, absolutely amazing news. And everyone in the comments, get yourself in the comments, give Sam your congrats to little baby Rowan. Hit the like button as well and hit the subscribe button. We've actually just got past 5,200 subscribers, so we're on the road to 6K, hopefully on that road to 10K as well. So please do help us get there. Like, subscribe, and get your comments in, as well as congratulating Sam, your thoughts on the upcoming game on Saturday. What do you think the score's going to be, and who are we going to play? Because we'll get into it, but we're struggling at the moment for players. Before we get into that, Sam, Wolves haven't had the best of seasons, but Villa don't have the best of records at Molineux.
No, I remember, I'll always be stuck in my memory that game where we were 2-0 up after 80 minutes, and I was watching the game. I was at Villa Park. I was fortunate to be in one of the hospitality sections with two Wolves fans who nearly got all of us killed, because when they scored that third goal to go 3-2 up at the last minute, they started celebrating over the edge, and the Villa fans were trying to climb into the box, and I was like pointing at my badge. I was like, "Oh, Villa fans, stop punching me!" No, we don't have the best. There are a couple of bogey teams that we've got. We never really seem to do that well against. Like Spurs is one of them, and Man United, the obvious one, and Wolves seems to be another one. But they are not having the best of seasons in the relegation zone at the moment. Sat in 18th. Joint on points with Ipswich in 19th. So, it's one of those where I don't know. I don't really like the term false position, but they do have some good players in their team. I think obviously the most obvious is Cunha, who I'm sure we'll talk about in the transfer show, but I think we've been linked with over the last couple of days. So, they've got dangerous players who can hurt us. And as you say, we don't have the broadest selection of squad members to choose from, so it might be a tricky game.
100%, mate. And you mentioned Cunha. I mean, they've got a couple of players out. I think Joao Gomez is suspended, which is a good one for us, because I really rate him in midfield. But is it one of them where you say, like you talk about bogey side, and then there's a local derby element? Is it one where kind of form goes out the window, or with the position that Villa are in, with the confidence that they should have got from Wednesday, do you see, if we play like how we know we can do, is it a game we should be winning, fairly comfortably?
Yeah, I mean, on paper, yeah, we should be walking it, because we have the quality all over the pitch. I don't know about local derby, because I've never really had that same sort of animosity towards Wolves. Whenever like West Brom. That was, especially in the Championship years, that was a really good heat. That felt like a derby. But Wolves, for me, never really feels like a derby. And I don't know if the lack of local players in the team, that will feel, that will really come across that they are actually a bit close to us. But I think the reason that this game might be hard is one of the strongest weapons in Villa's arsenal this season has been making sort of meaningful changes off the bench and bringing players on, and we may not have that option with the injuries, the likes of Buendia leaving and John Duran obviously not being available. So well, not being here, I don't know. I don't even know where he is. I know he's at a medical or something, but I don't know if he'll be around. But yeah, I think that's going to be tough on us not to be able to make those big, impactful changes from the bench.
100%, mate. And obviously, Marlon should be back, whether he starts or whether he's on the bench. All I'm finding actually getting an opportunity, But the big glaring issue at the moment is at the back. Matty Cash now out. I know you're not his biggest fan. However, he's out for 3 to 4 weeks. Obviously, got no Tyrone Mings either for Saturday. I know Emery said his injury wasn't as serious, but I kind of knew that he would be at least a week to 2 weeks out. Probably won't play against Spurs next week in the FA Cup. So Boubacar Kamara likely to fill in at centre back as well. How do you think we'll cope with that? I mean, Kamara was excellent on Wednesday, but O'Hara probably at right back or Garcia at right back. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I think Kamara was sensational against Celtic.
He was, yeah.
So, watching in the stands, obviously lucky enough to be there, just watching him in the flesh is just absolutely incredible. Like, he can play there. He could play centre back very easily.
Well, he's done it before, didn't he, for Marseille?
Yeah, so, but just, I mean, even at any level, you can watch him and he's just so comfortable there. He's good at chasing back. He's absolutely sensational. I'm not worried about centre back at all. Obviously, the big issue is what if he gets injured, or what if Konsa gets injured or takes a little tumble? Are we going to see Luca Dean back at left back, because that didn't go that well? And with regards to Matty Cash, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm not his biggest fan. I do like him. I think he's really upped his game this season. Especially offensively, I think he's really good going forwards at the moment. I think defensively he gives his absolute all, but he's just error prone, and a lot of the times there's those dangerous things that happen against us seem to come down his side. He doesn't, close a man down quick enough. And I mean, I think it's all relative to where we're trying to be, where we're trying to get to. And I think we're to a level where he's just not. As I'm not bashing Matty Cash, I'm not saying he's the worst player in the world. He's a good right back. He's just, I don't feel like he's at the level of, he's not a Champions League level right back for me. But that being said, a lot of the games we've lost this season, I haven't looked at Matty Cash and gone, "Oh, you're the reason X, Y, and Z." But I'd like to see Garcia play there instead of moving Konsa out to the right, or X, Y, and Z. I think Bogard did. I think he did a really good job in midfield against Arsenal and against Celtic before he got moved to right back. So that looks like his most comfortable position. And
definitely,
I think if we bought this player, I know he didn't cost a lot of money, or it's £7 million or something like Garcia, but I'd like to think that we're bringing in players that we trust to play. And if Matty Cash is out, then I mean, we're not playing Nedeljkovic. If we sign this guy, I don't know how old he is, Garcia, but I don't think he's
21. I think
21. Yeah, I mean, if we're signing him and we're not playing him, then why are we signing him?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'd like to see Garcia coming up. I don't know anything about him. I don't know if he's any good, but I think the point is I like to see that the intention was to sign players.
And playing someone in the natural position. Yeah, definitely. Well, looking at the predicted lineups on FOTMob, I mean, their left-hand side and our right-hand side, if Lamar Bogard plays, Leon Bailey plays, you've got Aït-Nouri and Cunha. They're best players. So that is going to be a dangerous area for us, and I would be quite concerned of, particularly obviously the first goal for Celtic came down that side, both players out of position. I'd be very worried at Cunha against Lamar Bogard in that game. That would be a concern for me.
I mean, for me, again, without knowing too much about Garcia, my preference on that image that you just showed would be to drop McGinn, put Bogard in the middle, and then have Garcia out on the right. But it's not just about who's playing right back. You're going to need Bailey to come back and track back. I think, as you say, Cunha, Ait-Nouri, 2 best players by a country mile at Wolves, and all that's coming down the left side, and they'll know that as well. Like Villa's weaknesses have been exposed sort of for the world to see this year. Those long balls over the top, crosses in, the Villa players not getting tight enough to the man. It's gonna. This is what I'm saying, and it's away as well. I don't think on paper, fine. Maybe we should walk it, but it may just be the case, Richard. We just need to score more goals than they do. That might be like, you know what? Look, they are going to get chances. They're going to hit us, but we need to. We're going to need to make loads of chances and take loads of chances. And I'm not going to go into too much detail. See what happens, right?
Well, thankfully, we have one man who's taking some chances at the moment, and that's Morgan Rogers. Sensational on Wednesday night. And
I brought you around to Morgan Rogers yet, Rich, or not?
Oh, come on, man. You know I loved him already. I just want him to get better. I just want him to get better. There's more in the tank with him, and it's so exciting. But like I say, I mean, if he can have a game even half as good as he did on Wednesday, Wolves are in for a big shock. And like I said, that midfield where it's Doyle and Andre Gomez, apparently he could really dominate in that midfield, and especially with passes from Tielemans, if they don't get close to him as well, Villa could really, really create some chances, like you say.
Yeah, 100%. And he sort of does well against most midfields. It doesn't really matter who's there. But if you've got sort of a not the best midfield sat in there for Wolves, then he could have an absolute field day. But I think what was most impressive against Celtic was, being in those areas, following up, running into the box, and then obviously taking those chances and having a few shots, having more shots than maybe he normally would. Even that second goal that he scored, just having a pop at the edge of the box. I know I got a deflection, but you've got if you want to win the raffle, you got to buy a ticket, right? And
exactly,
and that's what he did. So, I mean, you know what I'm like with Rodgers. I was wearing my Rodgers shirt on Wednesday, so maybe that's a bit good luck. Maybe I'll whack that back on for the weekend. But he could have an absolute field day. And I mean, really, 18th in the league, even with Matty Cash and Tyrone Mings missing. You'd hope for a result. You'd hope for a positive result, even if it's a cagey game. Even if we do concede more than we'd like, you'd still expect us to go and bag a few goals and still win the game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Wolves they've changed their manager, but they haven't necessarily had too much of an upturn in results that you would have predicted. I mean, they've lost their last 4 league games in a row, I believe.
I've no idea who their manager is, by the way. Do you know? I saw him on the touchline against Arsenal, and I was just laughing. I was like, "Who's that?" I thought it was
I need. What's his name? Pereira. Yeah, he came from the Saudi league, I believe. But they've lost their last 4 in the league in a row. They drew the one before that, so they haven't won in 5 games in the league. Yes, he came in. I think he had a brief little bit of a kind of manager bounce, but of late they've lost to Arsenal 1-0, Chelsea 3-1, Newcastle 3-0. They beat Bristol City, like I said, in the cup, but lost to Forest 3-0, drew with Tottenham, and prior to that, they did have a back-to-back wins against Man United and Leicester. So, look, they're not in good form. They've got a few injuries, and like I say, we should be buzzing off the back of Wednesday night. Yes, there might be a little bit of fatigue. Yes, there's this old Champions League kind of hangover that we suffer, but like I say, if we play anything like with that attacking intent that we did on Wednesday, we should be good. And just a quick before we get your score prediction, Jacob Ramsey looks like he's getting somewhere back to his best as well. And he was sort of flying and getting to that form where running with the ball is kind of almost faster running with the ball than he is without the ball. And that's what we want to see with Ramsey. He's so dangerous, and he gets you so much territory, and he's vital away from home in these types of games as well.
Yeah, I mean, just very quickly touch on like Wolves' recent performance. I mean, if you look at the 4 losses that you've said there, what was it? Chelsea, Newcastle, Forest, and Arsenal.
Yeah, big teams.
Those are 4 of the top 5, right? And then and that seems like a perfect time to play Villa. You lost 5 on the balance, and things aren't going well for you. It kind of seems like a good time to to play Villa, we seem to want to bring people back into their own seasons. But
they've also got Liverpool next in the league, so it doesn't get that any easier for them.
I mean, look, for their fans at least, the ticket prices will be cheaper in the Championship, so they can enjoy that. Maybe a little derby with West Brom for them next season as well. But yeah, just on Jacob Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey does this. He'll have games where he's, where he's sensational and he looks like the second coming, and then we're all like, right, this is it. This is JJ's moment. This is his time to grab the shirt. And then one or two things will happen. He'll either get injured or his performances will drop off. I think it's a really good start for JJ, but he needs to push on. Then he needs to do it again and again and again and again, like Morgan Rogers has been doing all season. Like, even if he's not had every game 90 minutes where he's superb, he has periods of the game where he really affects the game. And I think JJ, when he's on it, it's 90 minutes of affecting the game and doing brilliant, sensational things. But then the drop off is doing absolutely nothing, contributing nothing for 90 minutes, losing the ball. So yeah, we've seen this from Jacob Ramsey for a really long time. At his best, he could be such a massive asset to us. And I think if we do go and get Felix, I know this isn't a transfer update, but if we do get Felix, I think JJ is the biggest risk for his position. I think that's where he would play as like a left midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
So, JJ needs to stake his claim, and hopefully we see another performance like we did at Celtic against Wolves. Yeah,
amazing stuff, mate. Great to have you back on. Give us a score prediction before tomorrow night's game, or Saturday night's game if you're watching on catch up. Score and scorers, please, mate.
All right. I'll go 4-3 Villa. High scoring game, because I think they'll score a lot, but I think we'll score. That's got to be the tactic, especially if we're playing Bogard at right back. We're just going to have to outscore them. I will go Tielemans 1. I will go Morgan Rogers 1, Watkins 1, and Bailey 1. And then I'll go 2 for Cunha and 1 for Hwang, because I don't know anyone else in the squad.
Yeah, true. Look, it could be Cunha's last game for Wolves against the club who might be signing him, so that'd be interesting.
Do you know what? I know it's not a transfer catch-up, but I'd take a bit of Cunha.
Oh, mate, he's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'll say 3-2, but I agree with you in terms of goals, and yes, we probably do need to go after them more than trying to hold out for a 1-0 win. So I'll say Watkins again. He'll only get 1 because that's, he generally only scores 1, and he'll miss about 4. But yeah, he'll get an assist though.
Yeah, he'll assist.
He'll assist Rogers, and I'm going to say Daniel Marlon to get off the mark.
Do you know, that's a good shout? I didn't see much from him when he came on. Who was it against? Was it West Ham or?
West Ham, yeah.
Didn't see much, but well, fingers crossed, and it's a big win. It would be a big win for us. We really need that
massive.
Big contention
we do.
for the Champions League next year.
We need it for that, and to kind of stop this kind of Champions League hangover sort of narrative, which you can't argue with it, but yeah, really want that. Really need the win, mate. Thank you so much. Great to have you back, and congratulations once again on another little Villa fan in the family. Thank you for jumping on. Hit that like button, everyone. Hit the subscribe button. Get your comments in, your thoughts on the game coming up and your score predictions, and obviously give your congrats to Sam as well. We'll be back with match reaction, transfer rumour show, you name it. We'll be back with it. So stick with the channel. Thank you for watching, and as always, remember, we'll follow the Villa.